This is another one that I found. I started this one quite a while ago, and I stopped kind of after finishing just the construction of this character because I like it, but I'm not like I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, and it was just too simple and it was just like so incomplete, and I tried to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and this is a struggle of mine that eventually I realized I need to just like it's cool as a concept, it's cool as like a sketch, but it is trying to stick with the sketch is just gonna make me delay. It's gonna make me keep putting off making progress. So eventually I had to just kind of get rid of it and start from scratch. So this is where I'm starting to do that. So the idea is pretty straightforward that I had this idea for a knight who was a hornet. And I just liked that idea, and I tried to give him like a colony. I tried to make other characters that were also kind of insectoid, and I ultimately decided to just kind of start over, go back to the beginning. So the idea is he is a hornet that uses like a rapier and has a stinger. And I discovered something in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition that I liked, and it appears to be one of those things that most people don't really care that much about, but I decided to take it and roll with it. I found a version of a 5e barbarian, the Path of the Barbarian, the Zealot barbarian, and they have a big thing where they deal with whatever their deity is, and it can give them extra damage, divine, radiant damage, or necrotic damage. I don't know, a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. But something that I thought was interesting is one of their abilities is to, if they die, a person does not need to pay money to revive them using a spell that brings somebody back from the dead, which is a very situational power. It is based, like everyone I know that plays Dungeons and Dragons, that is a power that they think is not that good. But I'm the type of person that takes that idea and just runs with it. So this is a barbarian hornet who his deity, I guess, is the queen of the hive. And he's basically just a drone. He does not have the mentality of an individual. He thinks of himself as just a fighter, and he runs out recklessly and fights and basically gets killed or gets beat up, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't matter, even to himself. And so the idea is that this colony would also have healers that would like keep reviving him, so that he could keep running out into battle, having no regard for his own safety. And so I tried to give him kind of this pose where he's standing there almost like a zombie, and toward the end I put on some like battle scars. I think I ultimately would like to maybe add some more battle scars, because the whole idea is he is broken so many times and just basically patched up and put back together, and then goes back out and fights more, and it is strictly, for the queen. So his whole being doesn't matter. And then what I find interesting about that character concept is that if you put it in a Dungeons and Dragons game, typically what happens is you'll be in a party of other people who aren't, he would be in a party with people who are not from his colony, and they would all see him as an individual, and he has the capacity to be an individual, but they would not understand like the way he thinks, so they would like have more concern for his safety than he does. And I thought that would be a fun character to play with. And that's pretty much the whole concept. I tried to give him the appearance of being this kind of like broken, standing cockeyed kind of character, and I'm doing the wings now, so that kind of shows my point. Like the wings have some rips in them, and his whole aesthetic is he's a monster. He's a hornet, and I think that kind of overshadows everything. If I were to draw a more human character, it would have been easier to show this person who's like kind of blank in the face, and maybe his bones were dislocated and stuff. And I did try to do that with this character, but I think the hard part was that I was also trying to make him very insectoid. So I was looking up a lot of anatomy of hornets, the feet of the hornet specifically, because I didn't want his hands to just be like 5-fingered human hands. I wanted them to look somewhat like hornet feet, but also the idea that he has to be able to wield a weapon with them, that he doesn't have opposable thumbs, and I think I came up with an interesting design. I didn't think I needed to fix that. I didn't think I needed to give him thumbs. But the way he would hold a sword, perhaps, is a little awkward, because swords are built for humans and people with human hands, and he is not that. But I did give him a big stinger. And I don't want to go too much into just like D&D mechanics and stuff, but I was reading about a race that they introduced called the Three-Keen, which are basically bug people, but those bug people don't have wings. And there's a lot of things that I wanted this guy to be able to do that doesn't really fit. So I looked at the bird people. The bird people have like a shorter walking speed, but they do have the ability to fly, and they also have an unarmed attack with their talons. And I thought, oh, well, a hornet could maybe have that, but with his stinger. So this isn't an official race in Dungeons and Dragons or anything. This is something that I made up. It was just inspired by a few things that I ran across, but this all really started once when I was first learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and the person running the game was like, you can be anything you want. And just for whatever reason, off the top of my head, I said, I want to be a hornet. And I wasn't like a hornet person. I wasn't a humanoid hornet, like adventurer in a Dungeons and Dragons game. I was just a literal hornet, and there was some story that kind of came out of nowhere about the hive, or the nest being attacked by some other creature, and I had to join my other drone hornet warriors to defend the hive. And so this is a very old concept for a character, but here's what it evolved into, and I hope you like it. I'm really happy with the concept here, the character design here. Maybe he needs some more scratches and scrapes and stuff. Thanks.